Well, that was a goof up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Legion Teaches History. And what we're going to be finishing today is the talk about the Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Yes, we're going to be finishing this up. I'm going to do just a smidgen of a rereading here from this little section. So let's jump right into it. Historian Flavius Josephus wrote one of the earliest non-biblical accounts of Jesus. The first century Jewish historian Flavius Josephus, who, according to Ehrman, is far and away our best chance of information about first century Palestine. Twice mentions Jesus of Nazareth, in the Jewish Antiquities, his massive 20 volume history of the Jewish people that was written around 93 AD. So this is not too far after the death and resurrection of Jesus of Nazareth. Thought to have been born a few years after the crucifixion of Jesus around 37 AD, Josephus was a well-connected aristocrat and military leader in Palestine who served as a commander in Galilee during the first Jewish revolt against Rome between 66 and 70 AD. Although Josephus was not a follower of Jesus, he was around when the early church was getting started. So he knew people who had seen and heard Jesus. McCutic says, I struggle with that name last time. So hopefully I can do better this time. In one passage of the Jewish Antiquities that recounts an unlawful execution, Josephus identifies the victim, James, as the brother of Jesus, who is called Messiah. While few scholars doubt the short account's authenticity, says Mikitikik, more debate surrounds Josephus's lengthier passages about Jesus, known as the Testimonium Flavanium. Which describes a man who did surprising deeds and was condemned to be crucified by Pilate. Mukutsi agrees that the most scholars and Christians describe modified portions of the passage, but did not insert it wholesale into the text. Now, obviously, we've discussed this before that Jesus of Nazareth was not. He was a peasant. Regardless of any miracles or anything like that, he would not have been written about historically because he was not a prominent figure of said time period. Tacitus connects Jesus to his execution by Pontius Pilate. Another account of Jesus appears in Annals of Imperial Rome, a first century history of the Roman Empire written around 116 AD by Roman senator and historian Tacitus. In chronicling the burning of Rome in 64 AD, Tacitus mentions that Emperor Nero falsely blamed the persons commonly called Christians who were hated for their enormities. Christus, the founder of the name, was put to death by Pontius Pilate, procurator of Judea in the reign of Tiberius. Tiberius was the emperor when Jesus of Nazareth was crucified. As a Roman historian, Tacitus did not have any Christian biases in his discussion of the persecution of Christians by Nero, says Ehrman. Just about everything he says coincides from a completely different point of view. By a Roman author disdainful of Christians and their superstition, with what the New Testament itself says, Jesus was executed by the governor of Judea, Pontius Pilate, for crimes against the state, and a religious movement of his followers sprang up in his wake. When Tacitus wrote history, if he considered the information not entirely reliable, he normally wrote some indication of that for his readers. McKittick says, in vouching for the historical value of the passage, there is no such indication of potential error in the passage that mentions Christus. Additional Roman texts reference Jesus of Nazareth. Shortly before Tacitus penned his account of Jesus, Roman governor Pliny the younger wrote to Emperor Trajan that early Christians would sing hymns to Christ as to a god. Some scholars also believe Roman historian Suetonius referenced Jesus in noting that Emperor Claudius had expelled Jews from Rome who were making constant disturbances at the instigation of Chrestus. Ehrman says this collection of snippets from non-Christian sources may not impart much information about the life of Jesus of Nazareth, but it is useful for realizing that Jesus was known by historians who had reason to look into the matter. No one thought he was made up. These are excellent accounts right here because these are actual historical accounts from very different sources. And so that's why we give them a lot more credibility. As someone who is a person of the book, as many are called, you know, uh, you know, Jews and Christians and Muslims and all that stuff. We're all people of the book, and many of us all acknowledge that obviously Judaism and Islam does acknowledge that Jesus of Nazareth. They don't equate him to the same level that Christians do, which is perfectly fine. However, all these historical accounts should be taken into consideration when discovering history, because again, as I said in my previous video, the city of Troy was once thought to be nothing but a myth, and my camera was freezing, and I don't know why. So yes, that being said, appreciate you guys watching the video, and I'll talk to you next time. See you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the sponsor of this channel. The sponsor of this channel is Silk City Hot Sauce. It is a hot sauce company that I use personally. I love everything Silk City Hot Sauce does. They are a small business in Vermont, southern Vermont, and they use all the ingredients from a farm down the road. They got farm fresh ingredients. It tastes great. They have the best peppers. And quite frankly, I have tried many of their sauces. I love them. I've tried Prime Time Fired Up with Alex Stein. That is good. It's got a good heat to it right out of the gate. Killer Hot is another one that I do love. I love Killer Hot. That one is probably one of my favorites. Alex Stein's is also one of my favorites. I would also say that I have tried Nightmare. This is Chrissy Mayer's hot sauce. They do a great job with that. Bob Levy's blue cheese ass licking hot sauce. That's right. I do love it. They have a lot of great packages you can have out. You can get a 3-pack. They got multi-packs. Tales from Silk City Pull Over. I have tried that. I have not tried the G sauce yet. Not yet, but they also have pick your 3-pack. They have pick your 6-pack. They got a lot of great stuff. I hope you check them out, because when you do and use the promo code Legion, that is the promo code Legion, Legion. At checkout, you get 15% off. Jeff is a friend of this channel. I've interviewed him on my channel, and I think you will love everything they do. So I hope you go to SilkCityHotSauce.com, use the promo code Legion, and get 15% off, because I continue to buy from them every time I have the opportunity. Every time I run out, I always go. I use my own promo code. Jeff knows it's me. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this video or the rest of this live stream. We'll see you guys.